Where hinges creak in doorless chambers, where candlelights flicker though the air is deathly still. Welcome, curious friends. It is so nice to have guests. You may not believe it, but beauty once lived in this house, and beauty lives here still. Come, I have more beauty to show you.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to a bit of a different video. Today, in the spirit of Halloween, I want to talk about one of my favourite attractions at Disneyland Paris, Phantom Manor. Now, since you've clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you know at least a little bit about this attraction, but just in case you don't, I'll give you a quick rundown before we get into the main meat of this video. Phantom Manor is an attraction at Disneyland Paris, and it's the French counterpart to the Haunted Mansion located in California and Florida. While they both share similarities to one another, the real difference with Phantom Manor is its story. It's much more darker, much more depressing, and has really saying something when your host in the Haunted Mansion hangs himself to scare the guests. While the Haunted Mansion story is less concrete and is more of a retirement home for ghosts, Phantom Manor focuses its story on a bride searching desperately for her lost love and an evil phantom who haunts around the manor along with the other 999 happy haunts. In this video, I'm going to take you through the entire story of this attraction, to its backstory, to even the identity of the elusive phantom. So now, curious souls, I invite you to sit back, relax, dim the lights, and let's go through the story of Phantom Manor. Our story begins in the western town of Thunder Mesa, founded by a man named Henry Ravenswood. Remember this guy because he's going to be very important later on. Henry owned the Big Thunder mining company and became incredibly rich when he struck gold in Thunder Mountain. Henry used his wealth to build himself a Victorian manor high atop Boot Hill that overlooked the town, where he lived with his wife Martha and soon after his daughter Melanie. Henry was warned by the natives about mining too deep into Thunder Mountain as it may awaken the Thunderbird, an ancient spirit that would unleash his wrath on anyone who disturbed his mountain. Henry, of course, didn't believe these rumours and ordered the miners to keep digging as gold was starting to become scarce. Fast forward a few years and Melanie has grown to a beautiful young woman and would catch the attention of 4 would-be suitors. Henry didn't like this at all as he believed no man was good enough for his daughter and would see to it that each suitor would meet a cruel and unfortunate end. Henry would, however, be unable to stop Melanie from getting engaged to a train engineer named Jake, as the Thunderbird awoke and caused an earthquake that would kill most of the residents of Thunder Mesa, including Henry and his wife Martha. Now, you may be thinking that this is where the story has a happy ending. Melanie gets to marry Jake and live a happy life away from Thunder Mesa and the manor. Well, if you've been paying attention, you can probably guess that's not the case. As you most likely figured out, Melanie is the bride I mentioned earlier who's searching desperately for her lost love. So what happened to her love? Did he get cold feet and back out at the last minute? Well, on the day of Melanie's wedding, while she was getting ready in her room, a mysterious phantom, unknown to anyone, lured the groom up to the attic and hung him by the neck from the rafters. Hours went by and there was no sign of the groom. Guests slowly started to leave until Melanie was left all alone with some servants and maids. Melanie, however, was convinced that her groom would arrive, and so she never took off her wedding dress or dropped her bouquet and wandered the house aimlessly, waiting till she would be reunited with her lost love. The phantom, still in the manor, would laugh maniacally at her devotion and would invite all his dead demonic friends for an eternal party to torment Melanie about the wedding she would never have. Melanie would wander the halls for years, singing softly to herself, never to find out the fate of her groom. As the years passed, no one would hear from Melanie, and Ravenswood Manor would slowly start to decay and warp due to age, and the residents would begin to name it Phantom Manor. No one knew if Melanie was still alive, though many had claimed to see lights on and could hear the faint sounds of maniacal laughter coming from the manor walls. Fast forward to today, where guests at Disneyland are invited to discover the mysteries of the Ravenswoods for themselves. As guests make their way to the manor, they are warned to beware of the Phantom before making their way to the entrance. Servants of the home invite guests into the decrepit foyer, where they can see a portrait of Henry and Melanie. Soon after, the disembodied voice of the Phantom greets us and tells us that beauty once lived in this house, as the room slowly returns to its former self. The Phantom then invites us into a gallery where we can see 4 paintings showing Melanie and her 4 suitors. Suddenly, we notice Melanie slowly fade from the paintings as the room begins to stretch. The Phantom then explains that all those who come to Phantom Manor are doomed, including us. As the paintings fully stretch, we see what fate fell upon each of the 4 suitors. Sawyer Bottom was cut in half by a buzzsaw, Rowan Falls fell off a high waterfall, Iggy Knight was blown up by dynamite, and Barry Claude was mauled by a bear. We are then challenged to find a way out of the chamber before the lights go out and we see the Phantom up on the rafters with a noose in hand. It is here that we finally learn that the identity of the Phantom, who has been responsible for all of Melanie's dismay, is none other than Henry Ravenswood, as we pass a portrait that changes from Henry's corruptible mortal state into his true skeletal form. It is here we enter our doom buggies and make our way past the grand staircase and delve deeper into the manor. As we make our way through the dark corridors, we see Melanie walking through what seems to be an endless hallway, singing softly to herself as the Phantom is close behind her. Moving past the conservatory where a shadowy figure seems to be playing a twisted version of the bridal march, we make our way through a corridor lining the doors where we can hear the other inhabitants of the manor knocking and pounding on the doors, seeming to be struggling to get out. We then make our way to the seance room where we come face to face with Madame Leota, a lady in a crystal ball who seems to be reciting incantations, inviting all the happy haunts to a grand ball in a swinging wake. As we leave the seance room, we move along to a balcony, where looking down we see the grand ballroom, where a ghostly wedding party is taking place. Melanie stands up on the staircase singing, while the Phantom stands behind her, laughing at her as the storm rages on outside. Ghostly guests enter the room, bringing in wedding presents and sitting around the dining table where a mouldy wedding cake is waiting for them. Making our way further along, we can see elegantly dressed pairs of ghostly dancers twirling around the ballroom as an organist sits at a massive organ, playing a haunting waltz on it as rays fly out of its pipes. As we leave the ballroom, we enter Melanie's room, where we see she has finally given up hope on finding her lost groom. Melanie sits weeping into a mirror now as an old lady, as Henry's skeletal face stares back at her. Moving past Melanie and gliding along the terrace, we enter the graveyard, where we finally come face to face with the Phantom. His skeletal face fully revealed, he laughs maniacally as he ushers us into an open grave. As we descend backwards, we make our way to the catacombs, where we see the skeletal remains of the residents of Thunder Mesa, as they're prying on coffins and reaching out to the guests. Making our way further down, we come across 4 singing busts, who begin to sing Grim Grinning Ghosts, as all the other skeletons and corpses begin to join in a dance. Making our way through a hole, our doom buggies then enter Phantom Canyon, a twisted, hellish version of Thunder Mesa. We then move past the ruined town hall where the mayor of Phantom Canyon greets us and offers us the chance to be the 1000th happy haunt. Making our way past all the deceased residents of Thunder Mesa, we come face to face with the Phantom for the final time as he cackles maniacally on top of Boot Hill, ushering us to 2 open coffins and a noose, giving us a final chance to become a permanent resident of this manor. After narrowly escaping the Phantom, we enter the mausoleum, where we see Melanie's 4 husbands all buried. Finally, after entering a dark chamber lined with large mirrors, we see the ghostly image of Melanie, who is now become insane due to the loss of her suitors, groom, and spending what feels like an eternity in the manor. Melanie beckons us to wed her as she cackles to herself before fading away, and we make our way to the wine cellar, where one of Henry's servants awaits us to guide us to the exit. Just before making our way outside, we hear one last echo of the Phantom's laughter, and we hear Melanie's voice inviting us to hurry back and to bring our death certificates if we ever decide to become a permanent resident. As we finally leave the manor, we take one last glance before moving on, now knowing the true fate of the Ravenswoods and the real story of Phantom Manor.
I didn't mean to frighten you. The real beauty of this house awaits us. Farther on, there's a party in her honor, and she'll just die if we're late. And now, curious souls, I leave you now, but I'll be waiting for you on the other side. Have a frightfully good time.
Hurry back. Hurry back. Be sure to bring your death certificate. We're just dying to have you.